All right, so Meta is diving into their lab and they got some Metaverse haptic gloves, and it's not from B Haptics. So let's go ahead and see what they're talking about right now. Let's check it out. So Meta wants you to fill the metaverse with high-tech haptic gloves. Research discusses the latest prototypes and why feeling is the next frontier. So here's kind of like their research lab. A haptic glove research prototype from Reality Labs research from Meta Reality Labs research right here. As you can see, it is definitely 100% from just Meta. Now we did release the B Haptics version, so let's see what Metaverse got for us on their haptic gloves. So we feel it's more appropriate for gaming than work as of right now, and immersive videos, mixed reality, face tracking, spatial audio, haptic feedback could be the next frontier. Meta's research arm has been working on haptic gloves for 7 years, and even now the gloves have been developed aren't yet portable, but they could be someday. Changing the stiffness of the material, we have ones that use air to move something across your fingertip up and down or laterally inward. That helps you create that shearing force, and ones that aren't little bladders that create pressure. So Meta's confident that the haptics can do things at a level that hasn't been possible before. Facebook Reality Labs research tried a demo in 2017 that created the sensation of dropping balls made of different materials on your outstretched fingers, pressure applying bladders, and visual inputs from VR. It just wouldn't work the same way on a 2D screen, making the tech specific to AR and VR. This tech exists in a lab row, but Meta's research indicates a need for a whole haptics rendering engine. It's reminiscent of how the PlayStation 5's DualSense controller has needed to develop new ways of creating immersive haptics, but on a larger, more complex scale. And let's see, I'm going to have 10 times more of that haptic appeal. It becomes a huge problem from a systems perspective. Meta is working on ways of creating the right materials for durability too, so the gloves could actually be worn somewhere. But for right now, the gloves are purely in research mode, as you can see right here. And then based on Meta's demonstrated demo concepts, a lot of the uses for the haptic gloves right now are for simulations of hand-based activities, playing Jenga, thumb wrestling, or picking up objects. A lot of these ideas are already sort of possible with hand tracking, just minus the physical feedback. So what I think right here is what they're trying to do is get into the realism approach and just basic of hand tracking, of course. But B Haptics, I feel, is already a whole step ahead of them. But like what I said, B Haptics is external, while this is more of a Meta internal essence. But B Haptics are very amazing, so I don't know how they're going to be able to compete with that, especially if Quest 2 is already a simplified VR aspect, and then if these are going to have to be much more complex. You know, B Haptics, usually their integrations are a lot more seamless, so we'll see what's up. We'll see what's up. Its research group is focused more on further off goals than what Meta's consumer products team is working on, and we shouldn't expect to see haptic gloves around the corner, but he sees much of Meta's vision as a work of progress, and haptics and future inputs are a big part of that. We have been building for over 7 years the pillars that any version of the metaverse will have to be built on. I'm glad the world's catching up. It's a good thing we've been preparing for this. So all in all, I think if we were to look at it right here and study it, it's much more of a prototype. You can tell right here, more of in-depth research lab, still building upon. Obviously, right here is not something you're going to take out into public with you and everything like that. So my opinion on this, as far as haptics, yes and no. Depending on how much you want to be wearing for haptic gloves, I mean, Quest 2 is very successful because the least amount of things you have to put on. You put on the headset, that's it, you're ready to go. Maybe your controllers, sometimes you just do hand tracking games. But if you have to keep adding on more accessories and haptics and vests, and it just depends if you feel real sleek putting them on, and if you enjoy doing that, just accessorizing yourself, then cool. Something like this would be far more complex, that it's almost going into as if you're manually linking into a PC all over again, or if you're doing stuff. We don't know if this is going to be Bluetooth compatible, just like B Haptics vest is. I did review their gloves. I believe they're going to be the same Bluetooth Essential also. So if these are Bluetooth, that might be cool, but obviously that's a lot of configuration right there. If they make it sleek and white, easier to prepare, maybe matching, I'm pretty sure this can be a hit. This article was a few weeks back. There hasn't been no initial update since, but I did want to talk about this today because the haptic gloves are very important. Of course, if you want to feel more senses, It brings a realism approach, because I know the haptics vest really brings a lot of an approach, and haptics and haptics in general have been doing an amazing job. So for Metaverse to be having their own type of situation, I don't know if it's going to be a cash grab or they're going to be in depth like the way haptics are. The reason why I mentioned them so much is because their gear is very trusted. And so hopefully Metaverse can make something that's amazing. They have been doing amazing stuff, right? Metaverse though, and MetaQuest. So we'll see what's up with that. And then we could only find out. Y'all got to let me know. Have you been trying anything else externally on your Quest 2? A haptics vest, haptics gloves, sensories and arms and forearm sensories. There's so much other stuff that you could be using, accessorizing. How are you customizing your VR experience, man? Let me know, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.